32 organizations in Singapore are testing new solutions to make their work environments more age-friendly for senior workers. These include ideas like redesigning jobs and having flexible work arrangements. The government is also providing funding support to get their programs off the ground. Alexandra Anand with the details.
Making a job feel less like work and more like a passion project. That's the idea behind the Mandai Rainforest Resort's new approach to bringing more seniors on board. Associates over the age of 50 make up around 11% of its workforce. Microjobs break down traditional roles into smaller, interest-based tasks like welcoming guests.
We wanted to change the perception of the job. We wanted seniors to look at the role as a means to pursue their hobbies, to pursue their interests, rather than just come from it from a monetary standpoint.
Mandai Rainforest Resort is among the organizations piloting new ways to reimagine the career landscape for seniors. The firms in the program are from a wide spectrum of industries, including manufacturing, hospitality, security, and financial services. The initiative goes beyond tailoring job roles that better suit seniors. Other focus areas include skills upgrading and more flexible work hours.
Today's workforce is increasingly motivated by diverse aspirations. This could be transitioning to a new career, engaging in part-time roles, or shifting to mentorship positions within the same company or within the same industry. Such aspirations are further enabled by the rise of technologically enabled remote work, freelance opportunities, and skills-based roles.
It's hoped that by creating more opportunities for seniors to thrive, employers too can reap the benefits of leveraging their expertise. That's what steel distributor HH Stainless is doing. It plans to roll out masterclasses led by its seniors. This way, their years of industry knowledge is not lost.
The employers and the companies can actually tap on a more diverse workforce and also to expand its manpower and talent pipeline while meeting business requirements.
The solutions developed by these firms will be studied by the government. If feasible, they could be scaled up across different sectors.
And for more on senior-friendly workplaces, we have Ang Yut, who is the president of the Association of Small and Medium Enterprises. Yut, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, the idea of having multi-stage careers for seniors, that means they can try out new work arrangements or even have entirely new careers. What kind of workplace would allow for such a thing?
I think what you're talking about is workplaces that actually constantly redesign and articulate the kind of roles that's available and keep looking out at what's the kind of fit that different kind of roles and different technological advancement that gives different people of different ages a better fit to bring about an overall better productivity for the organization. And that includes fitting the seniors in, and with the age of AI coming in, I think there's a lot of differences that we can leverage on.
Yeah, but also speaking of differences, there are some concerns that generation gaps might be a bit more challenging to address. You have in the same office space, increasingly, people from a generation, maybe two generations apart,
Yes.
that could be grandparents and grandkids. That's the range that we're looking at. What challenges might present themselves?
I think fundamentally, it's a lot of communication. And what you hear about is that the older folks and the younger folks don't communicate in the same way. And with the rise of technology, I think that makes the situation even worse. So I think the workplace really has to take that into account and really facilitate a very open communication between all the different generations and what's available, and make it a foundation of and part of the culture.
Yeah, how do we do that exactly? If you were to speak to business owners, especially those from SMEs, how would you go about creating that multi-generational workplace that also ensures fair career growth opportunities for everyone?
I think you got to look at the businesses that really take a lot of time and effort to look at their job design and articulation of that. And not all businesses are designed to have that built in. So I think those that are more advanced in the ability to communicate that and design the different jobs and look at how the roles can be carved out will be the ones that will be the early adopters. And I think from the early adopters, we can look at what it works, and then we can then bring that on to the later adopters, and people can learn from maybe playbooks and best practices.
Now, this is a tripartite initiative, so it involves the government, the companies, and even the unions. Why is this tripartite cooperation so important to make sure that seniors stay employed?
I think it's very interesting that Singapore has a very unique way in which we approach, the whole industry from all three perspectives, right? Both workforce and the company and the government. And this kind of partnership allows all facets to be covered, whether it is support from the government, whether it's the unions and the workers being on board in this, as well as the companies working. And we ensure that this approach, we cover all gaps. And then we can move forward in the same direction where everyone wins.
How open do you think, what's your read on this, right? How open do you think the SME employers are to all these initiatives? Do you think they're open to keeping their workers on the payroll, even with all these grants and support?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's not for every company. I think that we have heard of companies that really wish to retain their older workers. So I think this really gives the advantage and the flexibility to companies that really value that. And for those roles that it's really important that we maintain and we allow them to have that ability to transfer their skills by staying on beyond a certain age. And the workers are willing and they want to do that. So we are really allowing that flexibility for business and the workers to actually go beyond and to continue to contribute. And every party has that flexibility to create a win-win situation.
But to get to that win-win situation, the willingness might be there by some SME employers, but there are some obstacles that are in the way. What can tangibly really help SMEs to overcome these initial challenges?
I think that, the government support is definitely one of them. The other part is that in recent times, we have introduced a flexible work arrangement. And I think for a lot of workers that reach a certain age, having that flexibility is really important. So redesigning the job and that flexibility and that education for the businesses that they can do that and cater to the needs of the senior worker while retaining the best of what they've got to offer, really would bring that value forward.
Well, also zooming out on everything and that's being rolled out, how is this going to boost Singapore's competitiveness as a whole?
I think if you look at the overall progress, and we know that our workforce is aging, I think with the very quick advent of artificial intelligence, there's also a rapid need that we identify that the younger people need experience that the older people have. So being able to keep the older people workforce on the payroll and in the workforce and transfer that education, that knowledge, experience down to the younger folks. I think that's an awesome way that our workforce can move forward as we step into the next decade.
Yeah, recognizing the value of older workers, for sure. Well, Yut, thank you so much for coming in to share your insights with us today. I've been speaking with Ang Yut, who is the president of the Association of Small and Medium Enterprises.